Hello guys, welcome back in Goku Manhwa. Let's continue.
As the mirage dissolved like mist before the dawn, Lin found himself crossing a quiet glade beside the Sentinel of Balance. The Sentinel drifted with soundless poise, its hazy figure glowing faintly like fireflies caught in moonlight. Though its demeanor was tranquil, its presence buzzed with ancient energy. "You have unraveled what was once forever locked," the Sentinel intoned. Its tone was neither harsh nor gentle, but resonated with ageless wisdom. "You awakened the forgotten gate and endured a burden not even titans dared to bear. Your path and pain ripple beyond your own tale. Tonight, the mountains breathe your name." Lin's breath hitched. The words slid through his mind like fog. For centuries, countless seekers had come. Alchemists, mags, starborn rulers. None prevailed. Yet here he remained. The first in 1,000 lifetimes to come this far. As his gaze lifted, the glade shimmered and twisted. From the trembling leaves above, pearlescent light poured gently down, casting soft glows across the earth, revealing silhouettes of fabled beings. Sentient vines, draconic shades, ancestral echoes, and sacred sentinels all watched silently, their eyes reflecting distant constellations. Each presence touched something dormant in Lin's bones. Then the Sentinel of Balance lifted an arm, pointing toward a spiraling rift in the clearing ahead. From that very nexus spilled blinding brilliance, golden, immense, alive with power no realm could contain. It throbbed like the core of creation. And Lin knew it instantly. It was the very glow that haunted his dreams and called to him through the veils. The origin flame, buried at the heart of the celestial trials. The first flicker that began it all. The Sentinel's glance fell on him again. "That," it said without words, "is the essence your soul reached for. But heed this, though your journey is near its end, the spiral of destiny is not yet still. To claim it is not within my dominion. I may witness, but I may not sway the course." Lin's chest tightened, yet his will did not falter. He moved. He closed his eyes, surrendering to the silent pull as it enveloped him like a cosmic tide. A strange chill traced his spine, and then, as if ancient chains had been broken all at once, a surge of clarity flooded his mind. Every suppressed thought, memory, and forbidden technique once locked away by forbidden seals or mental blocks came rushing back. The fragments of forbidden knowledge he had gathered over years flared within him like a wildfire unleashed. A torrent of illusion insight coursed through his spirit, intertwining seamlessly with his essence. The awakening was complete and irreversible. His fingers moved on their own. Drawing from his pack, he retrieved the old, cracked mirror of echoes, a relic that had whispered truths and deceptions in equal measure. But something unexpected occurred. The mirror pulsed sharply. Then, without contact, it drifted from his fingers, pulled by a magnetic force unseen and ancient. It floated toward the Sentinel of Balance, pulling curious stares from the silent observers nearby. In that moment, the amulet embedded in the Sentinel's chest, a translucent gem of shifting hues, began to crack, not in sorrow or loss, but like a puzzle piece finding its rightful place. Lin stared, spellbound. This was no common relic. It was the heart's heart, the true consciousness of the mirror of echoes. Responding to unseen will, the gem released itself from the Sentinel and gravitated toward the mirror, slotting in without resistance. At the instant they fused, a violent wave of power detonated from the artifact. A luminous indigo storm cloaked the mirror. Symbols of forbidden prophecy and runes of old gods spiraled along its surface, forming intricate patterns that danced with meaning and intent. The relic had transcended, no longer dormant, no longer bound. The mirror of echoes now conferred to its bearer a mental fortitude exceeding 400,000 spirit threads, an augmentation beyond any recorded in arcane annals. It had risen to a cosmic tier, usable only by minds that had pierced the ninth veil of enlightenment. A relic of ancients. Newly awakened skills emerged from its transformation. Sight of revelation, the ability to perceive hidden fates and truths, and song of silence, a mental burst capable of unraveling entire realms. As the chaos faded, Lin parted his eyelids. The mirror glowed anew, every fracture mended, its frame humming with latent thought. At its heart shone the indigo shard, confirmation of its reborn sentience. In that instant, Lin realized something profound. The deep crypts of the echoing cathedral and the mirror of echoes were inseparably entwined by purpose. The halls had been the crucible, and he, the spark, faded to ignite it. As Lin grasped the newly awakened mirror, the sentinel of balance lowered itself onto one knee. The action was abrupt, filled with sacred intent. "Why are you kneeling?" Lin asked, taken aback. The sentinel's face remained unreadable, its tone filled with deep gravity. "Because you now bear the mirror of echoes. I have protected it through endless cycles, waiting for one whose mind could harmonize with its truth. Now that it has chosen you, I acknowledge you as my guide." Lin stepped back, overwhelmed. "Guide? I'm no oracle. I'm just a..." But the sentinel interrupted. "You are no longer what you were. The mirror's legacy accepts your essence. I have waited across epochs. You are the answer to that wait. The chosen mind." Lin remained silent, breath tight in his chest. The air around him pulsed with ancient significance. He had never desired to be seen as a sage. He never hungered for reverence or control. And yet now he held an artifact tied to the forgotten truths of the universe. A relic that could rewrite fate itself. The sentinel spoke once more. "With this, your path winds toward transfiguration, toward the throne beyond thought." A flare of energy erased the world around him. In the blink of an eye, Lin stood once more at the entrance of the forgotten arena. Across the clearing stood Ningyari, eyes darting from shadow to sky, dread and hope mingling in her breath. When she saw him, whole, composed, alive, she gasped. Without a word, she sprinted into his arms, holding him fiercely, uncaring of who watched. "You returned," she whispered. "I said I would," Lin murmured in reply. But nearby, Ning Taran stood unshaken. His gaze sharpened. "Did you retrieve the relic of the domain?" Lin met the old man's stare without hesitation. "You might say that." Hours later, in Bei Yuan's courtyard, the tension had lessened, if only slightly. Bei Yuan, Mang Anwen, and Kwang Shan leaned in, absorbing every word as Lin recounted what had happened. "Each of my cognitive cores expanded by 12,000 units, Lin noted. My neural resilience jumped by 30%. It's like I'm interfacing with reality itself." Bei Yuan laughed, shaking his head. "With stats like that, you might be beyond anyone in the entire grid." Kwang Shan furrowed his brows. "What's your current construct profile?" Lin smiled and revealed it. Designation, Lin. Class, Singular Soul Weaver. Level, 45. Logic, 40,055. Fortitude, 40,055. Kinetics, 40,055. Perception, 83/110. Kwang Shan's eyes widened. "You've bypassed even elite synaptic class operatives. You're not just enhanced, you're a one-man sector." Even as a weaver, Lin's motion values outpaced trained blade lords. His speed eclipsed stealth class champions. Labels no longer applied. "You're sure you're a soul weaver?" Kwang muttered. "Because at this point, even calling you post-human sounds conservative." Bei Yuan's grin softened into admiration. "I once dreamed of entering the void alongside a protege like you. Once your rise begins, even the phantoms will scatter when your code echoes." Lin nodded, quietly resolute. Lin nodded firmly. "I'll see it through." But then Kuro Tenji stepped forward, his expression unusually grim. His tone dropped low, urgent, edged with restrained fury. "We are running out of time. The Kale Syndicate, they've been binding themselves to astral parasites for generations. They've rewritten histories, corrupted libraries, infiltrated every governing faction we once trusted. And their pace is quickening." The room fell silent, the weight of Kuro's words sinking into the hearts of all present. He continued, his voice steady but fierce. "These parasites, they don't just feed on spirit, they unravel identity. We've seen once loyal protectors dissolve into husks. If we delay, this realm will fall." Just then, Lin's wrist communicator vibrated. He glanced down. A cryptic message pulsed in a translucent script. Ciravel, senior cryptographer from Archive Theta, had requested an immediate meeting. Lin's brow furrowed. Cira rarely reached out unless it was dire. Before he could move, Draven raised a brow and smirked. "Another secret meeting. Our prodigy draws mysteries like stars to avoid. You really are living inside a prophecy, Lin." Lin offered a quiet nod, activated his beacon, and vanished in a shimmer of violet light. The second he disappeared, Draven's smile dissolved. "Kiro, the dossier," he said, his voice cold. Kiro reached into his coat and handed over a compact crystalline cube. Draven placed his hand over it, and a projection bloomed into the air. Names, hundreds of them, burned in soft golden light. As he scanned the list, Draven's expression shifted from solemn to storm. His jaw clenched. So this is how deep it runs. Kiro's eyes darkened. We've waited long enough. Let the ghosts wake and the blades be drawn. Elsewhere, high above the clouds, floated Bastion Noctis, a war fortress built in another era, now wrapped in an ethereal shield that flickered against waves of invisible corruption pressing in from all sides. Within its walls stood elite defenders, war mags, elemental knights, shadow-forged tacticians. The air buzzed with rumors. Why had Kuro Tenji summoned them here? From the crowd, renowned figures stepped forward. Vayne, the Celestial Lancer of Dawn, level 92. Haru, commander of the Eastern Tempest Forces, level 92. Solon, the pale-eyed Sentinel of the Void, level 93. Their eyes fell on Draven, who now stood at the steps of the tower. You turned from this place, Draven declared, voice like thunder, but today you will remember. Remember the one beside me. Kuro Tenji does not walk this ground unless judgment calls. Kuro raised a scroll etched in ever-changing glyphs. These names are not accusations. They are facts. Infiltrators. Parasites wearing familiar skin. A wave of gasps swept the audience. A cloaked woman stepped out. And who decides truth now? You'll execute people because a scroll glows. Draven didn't flinch. If Kuro speaks, I trust it. Interfere, and you forfeit your place among the living. The crowd froze. They understood. This was no longer politics. This was purge. Far beneath the bastion, a black mist stirred and coiled through the deep chambers. Within it, a lone figure emerged, Oren Vaya, level 95, a prime tactician of the Sovereign Council. His eyes narrowed as he watched the surface ripple. So Draven has come. Then the final arc has begun. This is no longer a theory whispered in backrooms. It is war, and the veil has been torn. So ends this chapter. The storm has been named. Who will fall first, the Chaos Syndicate or the Soul Weaver who walks among prophecies? What secrets will Ciravel reveal in the shadows of Archive Theta? And what price will truth demand? Drop your predictions in the comments. Don't forget to rate this chapter out of 5. Until the next episode, stay safe, stay sharp, and walk the path without fear.